Good Thursday afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our Transfer Express webinar. Sending your artwork for a quote. Going to be a good one today. Lots of slides, lots to go over. If you've joined us in the past, we appreciate you coming back. If it's your first time here at a Transfer Express webinar, we welcome you. My name is Dan Kane. I'm the trade show coordinator as well as educator here at Stull's Transfer Express, and look forward to going over this fine information that we have for you today. I do have Mike playing the Wizard of Oz today behind the curtains. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat. If I see them as we're going, I'll try to answer them, and Mike will be typing some answers in there as well. So looking forward to it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare the ways to get your artwork to us over at Transfer Express, quoting it, comparing the uploading versus the EasyView Designer, the mapping, which seems to confuse some people sometimes when they're uploading some art into our EasyView Designer. What file types we accept, you learn your best artwork practices, and then the greatest of all is no vector art, no problem. So we'll talk about that as well. Hopefully you guys have all sent us artwork before. If not, maybe this will calm some nerves for you and get you your best practice on how to get that art over for a quote and a screen printed transfer. So you have two choices when it comes to sending your art here to us at Transfer Express for a free quote. You have our upload system. The advantages to using the upload is you are sending art just as you want it. It's faster, quicker. There's no mapping involved. You'll get an instant quote right on the page that you upload it to. So if you put in all the correct information, you know what file what transfer type you need, how many you need. You're going to get a quote right then and there. So you don't even have to wait for an upload rep to give you a call back. We do always email out quotes, but again, you'll get a quote right on the page. So that is the greatest advantage to that. All you need is to add the quantity, size, colors, type, and what type of apparel it will be on for us to get you that quote right on the upload page. The disadvantages is you can't add anything to the art. The art is just as you send us, so you won't be able to, to send us a file and then be able to add a line of text to it on that page or add a clip art. So it again is just as you send us. Another minor disadvantage is you can't set up your own gang sheet. So if you have 3 different images, 3 different uploads, you won't be able to set up your gang sheet. Now if you are in Corel or something, you could set up your gang sheet there on 11.25 by 14 sheet and then just send us the one file. But if you're sending us 3 different files or something that you need us to gang up, you will not be able to do it on that page there. So, hello to everyone. I see a lot of hellos over in the chat, so hello. We're happy you're here. So step 1 is attach your art file with a description. It'll say if you're doing a upload for Knights baseball, you can just put Knights baseball in there. Description doesn't have to be too complex or anything. So you'll attach the file right in the screen here. You kind of see right where my pencil is pointing here. It tells you over here, and again we'll blow this up in a couple slides here, but this tells you all the different files that we accept. And then you will just go on and drag it into this area right here where my pencil is. You're going to enter your contact info then. So we do have a way to get a hold of you. Your company name, phone number, and email address on file will autofill. You'll add your contact name or the contact name of who you want us to contact when calling or emailing out for a quote. You could change the email. Again, if you're sending the quote, but it needs, if you're sending the artwork, but the quote needs to go to a different person, you could, set up their email address, contact name, so that way we're getting a hold of them to get you your free quote there. So you're going to choose the print method, transfer type, quantity, size, fabric type, and fabric color all in this area here. So you'll see You'll do a screen print, kind of hard to see, but a goof-proof transfer, um, specific size. So again, this over here, we have a gang sheet that we set up already. So it's 3 different images that we had set up and uploaded. So it's specific size. You don't have to tell us the individual size of each image, but you can put that in the order or the upload notes so that we do know to print. So you can put print as is. People do some different things, but it's you can kind of just how you want to do it, whatever you think is best for you. We'll select a fabric type. So if it's going on 100% cotton, 100% polyester. Now, sometimes people don't think this is a necessity, but it actually is very important because if you're printing onto nylon, for instance, and you have a screen printed transfer type selected, that's going to flag us, because we don't recommend the screen printed goof proof transfers going onto a nylon garment. So that's kind of a line of defense there for you, so we can contact you and make sure that we could change it over to a CAD print or whatever we need to get you your transfer for that nylon garment. So always, pick the correct apparel that you're putting it on. If you're doing, a couple 50-50 shirts and 100% cotton shirts, just pick one. And again, utilize that order notes to let us know that you might be putting on, 100% cotton, a few 100% cotton, a few 50-50s. Again, just that will solidify that we are getting you the correct transfer type out if we do go ahead with the order there. Fabric color is another kind of thing that people just think to pick a color, but actually pick the correct color, because that way, if you pick that you're putting it on a black shirt and we see some black ink in your transfer, it could take your 3-color transfer down to a 2-color transfer, because we can go, make all the black areas that are in your upload show through. So you're still getting the 3-color effect with the garment showing through. So always, please, tell us the correct information. That's going to help us get you the best product, best transfer type for the end result, best end result for your customer. Now, you don't know any of that information, don't hesitate. If you're unsure of any detail, use the highlighted not sure right now. You can just click where we have it highlighted here and just say not sure, and that way a rep, will get a hold of you and let you know, go over all the different options that we might have for you for the artwork that you are sending us. So if you don't know the information, don't be scared. Still get us the file. We are here to help you. Another great tool and tip we have for you, for more information on choosing this transfer type, use this transfer selector tool. Very quick, easy to use on the Transfer Express website. You'll hit start, it'll take you through what you're putting it on and kind of give you the best option if you do have all that information of what transfer you're going to use. So great little tool there that you can access here. This is being recorded and it will be put onto our website. But the transfer selector tool is already up there. So another great tool for you to utilize there. Okay. So once you've done everything that we said in step 3, get all your information. If you do know the transfer type, the fabric, colors and everything, what color garment you're putting on. If the instant quote looks good, which the instant quote is right over here, and it tells you that for 50 sheets, you're going to be looking at $2.53 per sheet for a total of $126.50. So that's the instant quote that it's getting you. Again, if you are putting in all the correct information, going to give you a pop-up quote right then and there. So if the quote looks good to you, you've done your research, everything is good on the upload page, you could choose, and you're ready to do your order, you could choose the yes. Right down in here, ready to place your order. If everything looks good in the instant quote, you can just hit yes. And that way, once the upload comes into our system, the upload reps know that all the art is correct. You've done your research, you saw the quote, everything looks good on pricing. So we're just going to go ahead and process that order right away without emailing you, without giving you a call to go over, because you had told us on your upload that everything, all the information that you selected was correct. If you either need more info or just want to save the quote in art, just hit no. Then we do keep the file in our uploads for a period of time, so it's there for you. So if you got to go, you get the instant quote, you got to go to your customer to confirm everything. You could just hit no, come back, an hour, 2 hours, a day, 2 days later, and that art will be in there with the same exact quote that you were given initially. So yes, if you are ready, if everything looks good, just hit yes. We'll get the order processed for you. No, if you need a little bit more time to go over it with your customer or go over it with one of our representatives. Okay. Once you did that, once you clicked yes or no, this green button is going to light up. Okay. Right over here, it'll say send us your artwork. So once you've done all the information, this green button will light up, and you'll see over here in our example, we clicked yes, that everything looks good with our quote over here. So we are going to send this over to us at Transfer Express, and they're going to go ahead and process that order. So if this green button is not lighting up, that means you did not do something. You did not put in the fabric, colors, something, you missed a step, because this green button will not light up until you have given us all the information that we need to get you a quote or process the order. So you could be missing your yes or no, or something that we've already gone over. So just double check and make sure. And then once that green button is lit up, you are good to go and send us the artwork on over. Once you click the green submit button, it will turn blue saying sending, and then you will see it was sent. It'll say upload completed successfully right over here. Still has your has a quote total over here, but once the artwork is, you will get you will see that this is correct, and then the person that you have on the email as the email contact will get what's called a reference number saying that it has come over into our system. Okay, so that covers sending us your artwork on our upload your artwork page, which is a link or a button, a tab right on our Transfer Express homepage. It'll say send us your artwork right on the Transfer Express homepage. Once you click on that, all those steps that we just went over will pop up, and that is how you go ahead and get your art over to us via the uploads. The second way that you could get a quote or send us your artwork is through the EasyView Online Designer. Question I get a lot when I'm out at trade shows talking to customers is, we show the EasyView Designer that has all of our clip arts, layouts, fonts, texts, whatever it might be, and then I get the question, well, can I add my own artwork? And the answer is yes, you can. The advantages to using the EasyView Online Designer is you can add text. You can add our clip art and layouts, and you can set up your screen printed gang sheet. So with the Online Designer, you could do kind of the disadvantages that come with the upload page. So in the EasyView Designer, you might love one of our layouts and just have your own clip art that you want to add into it, and this is where you would be able to do this. To do that step is right on the Online Designer. Some small disadvantages is the color mapping, which we'll get to here, and a white box that's going to come around your image if it's not vector. Now the white box will not print, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here in the next slide. This is uploaded custom artwork. So you'll see this white box around it means it wasn't vectorized. Now that white box will not print unless it is meant to print. So when we do get it into production, you don't have to worry that white box will not print unless you tell us to print it. Only the black and blue text arrow, that's what's going to print. What you'll do is when you're started with a blank page or in one of our layouts, right over here, the bottom blue here, and again, I know it's hard to see the text, but it'll say add your artwork. So it says add your artwork right on this blue tab right over here. And then once you select your file, it will pop up. Again, if it is not vectorized, it will have this white square around it. Don't hesitate. There is no way to remove it for you. But if it's not supposed to print, we will remove it in the production process. Okay. Click on your art, the next step, and configure color map. So what you're going to have to do is now configure the color mappings here. So you'll select this, then click this button over here will light up, and that's what you'll want to click to let us know what colors we're printing. So you'll click on one of the colors if you're to click on the blue here, and then it'll pop up, and you'll go select one of the stock colors on the right that is closest to that blue that you will need to print. And it's kind of nice. It kind of gives you a rectangle right here of the color. So, I would probably, with this color, I would go with our mid blue right here is the closest to me. But again, all those colors will appear. The nice thing is even with the upload page and sending your art this way is you could send us an upload that's in black, black and red, and just tell us that what we see as black is really supposed to print white, and we can do that for you. And again, you could do it when you are doing your color mappings, but on the upload page, even in the notes, again, utilize those notes. You can just say, anything that's black needs to be printed in white ink, please, and we can go ahead and make that change for you. So if you have artwork but it's not in the colors you need it, still send it to us because we can make those changes here for you at no additional charge. And again, back to this here, when you are sending, just repeat, click on the colors and then map it over here with the closest stock colors that you're going to want us to print. Or, if you needed this blue to be, Kelly green, you would just click on the Kelly green. And then that way we know to click what is in that blue. That 50 would then print green if that's the color that you did select. Okay. So everything blue is mapped to use our royal now. See, I said mid blue, but we went with the royal in this case. And then everything that is black, you'll see over here, is going to be black. So black equals black, and then this blue 50, we're going to print in our royal. That's the color that we had selected. We will remove the white box when we do the order. To be safe, you can add it in the notes. Like I said, we're assuming it's not supposed to be there. So if it is a design that does have that white square, you'll have to let us know to print that box. But more times than not, people are telling us, to remove that, or worried that they can't remove it, but it's not supposed to print. But again, we will remove that white box. It kind of just means that it's not vectorized artwork there. So again, we talked about you can set up your own gang sheets, using this type of upload system through the online designer. So you could set up your sheets. You can add text or clip art on the screen. So you can, add to this gang sheet here. We have a little bit of room. The dotted line is your 11 1/4 by 14 transfer sheet. And then your quote will be at the bottom right. And it will tell you, again, once you go up here and put in all your information, your screen printed transfer, goof proof ink, what type of fabric you're putting it on, the transfer size, quantity, it will give you an instant quote right down here in the right hand corner. Now the one thing is we actually, depending, the one disadvantage again is the white box, because if that white box wasn't there, if your art was vectorized, depending on the size, we might actually be able to fit more on the sheet, because that white box is actually showing, you're not able to do that and it won't let you overlap. But again, we'll if we could fit more on the sheet when it comes over to us, we will, and adjust the quantity to make sure you're getting the most cost-effective way to do it. With this image, maybe that might not be the case, but some images where that art isn't vectorized and that white box is there, you might run into that issue where you can only fit 4, but realistically you could fit 6. The big white box is actually just taking up more space, than the size of your transfer that's actually going to print there. But again, you'll get your quote right down here at the bottom, based on how many sheets you're doing and everything, after you've set up your own gang sheet and mapped all your colors and everything. Once you see the quote and everything's good, you will just add the order to your cart, and it'll show up just like this, just like any easy prints order you have done. If you're doing any of those with us, any of our layouts, kind of just shows up just in your shopping cart, just like an easy print would. Kind of shows you, gives you all the information here again, what type of transfer you're doing, your sheet cost, your quantity, your total cost. Okay, you can edit it, do whatever, and then once you are ready, you can kind of hit the you can actually hit the continue to checkout there, for us to get that order into production. people always ask, one of the more popular questions, and it is a great one, is what type of files do I need to get you? So we do accept plenty of files. AI, Corel, we work in Corel, so that's always, in my opinion, the best one to send. Can be a JPEG. Any of these files we do accept. So folks, if you have a file, don't hesitate. Get on there, through the upload on the homepage or in the EasyView Designer and get us that art. More times than not, we are able to look at that file, review that file, clean that file up for you, and do whatever you need for us to get it in production and for you to press it onto the garment and get to your customer. So lots of file types here that we can accept. AI, Corel again, JPEGs, whatever you have, send it on over to us. So your practices here for your artwork requirements, sometimes you'll hear terms of show through line thickness, minimum, maximum, artwork requirements, sheet size, all that. So gonna kind of just read this here to you. Screen print transfers require vector artwork. You can send us vector artwork, and we can print it as is or with adjustments. You can send us a bitmap artwork that we will convert to vector, and then send us the best artwork that you have. That's what kind of just said there. Your maximum is 11.25 by 14. That's your sheet size. Although not required, it is a good idea to send us your file at the same size you want printed. But again, if you send us a 3 by 3 file and we need to blow it up, we can make those adjustments here. So even if your file is not the size, it's no reason to hesitate because we can make those adjustments for you here. You're going to want to convert your text to curves. For vector files, convert all text to curves outlines before sending. That way you avoid any type default. I'm not sure if, some of you have sent us uploads that you think is great, great, perfect vectorized artwork, but you get a phone call or an email saying that your type defaulted. Pretty much what that means is you didn't convert the text to curve, so we would ask you to do that, resend to us, so we can make sure that, we are printing correct. The colors, we use spot colors for screen printing. You can use spot colors when creating art, but it is not required. Use consistent colors in your file, and again, that goes to, if you send us a black and white file, but the black needs to print red, not an issue. We can do that for you. Your line thickness. So this is very important here. When you hear us say, some of those show throughs are too small, show through areas are too small, and you might see some closure in there. You sometimes see it in small text, and then just again in very, kind of high detailed artwork. So the recommended is 0.012 line thickness for hot split, goof-proof, polytran, Elasti-Prints, glow-in-the-dark, and pearl print transfers. It's a recommended 0.25 line thickness for glitter. It's a recommended 0.012 line thickness for non-puff colors. This may need to be increased if printed next to a puff color. So if you're doing our puff white or puff black, we might need to make small adjustments. Be aware that the puff will increase the printed line thickness. A line that is 0.023 will puff up to become 0.05 in the applied transfer. Okay. The show through thickness, so that's line thickness. So that's your small, kind of thin detailed lines. Text, small text there. That's the thickness that you're going to need. I had kind of jumped the gun and talked a little bit about show through there earlier. So the show through thickness is the recommended is 0.04 show through thickness for all screen printed transfers except puff. The puff show through thickness should be 1 inch thick. So that way, when you're pressing, you have enough room that if the with the heat, the inks might expand a little bit. So your A's and O's aren't going to close up, or your detailed clip art is not going to close up, as long as you are meeting that 0.04 show through thickness. So use a tool on Corel. If you're working in Corel or anywhere you're working, you kind of get a ruler or just bring in a line, make it that thickness, and kind of change it to a different color, and then hover over your show through spots. And if you put that line over an O, for example, and you're still seeing some of that show through, where the line is, you're good to go. If it's covering it all up, you might want to thicken that up so it doesn't close up. Special effects, fades, shadows, shading, etc. are not recommended. Some special effects can be produced when screen printing, but if you are getting into the special effects, shading, shadows, we do recommend one of our digital CAD print or stretch litho transfers. So always keep that in mind when you're getting into the high detailed. And again, if we do get your file over, our uploader reps are very experienced, and they will let you know what the best transfer type is going to be for you. I see here I have repeat customers that use the same logo over and over again to get a good price. I try and get volume prints, but how long can transfer be stored before it's no good? And Mike just kind of typed in there that the transfers can last for several years if stored properly in a cool, dry place. I just pulled, we had unfortunate end to our Cleveland Indians playoffs up here. But I went down to the game Monday. It wasn't much of a game, and I had a transfer that was under my desk that was 2 years old, and had a blank garment and wanted a new shirt. So pulled that Indians transfer out, pressed just fine, laundered just fine. So the transfers do last, as Mike said, if they are stored in a cool, dry place. So don't keep them in the trunk of your car in the desert, but in your cool, climate controlled office, home, etc. This kind of gives you an example of your line thickness. As I said, if you're working in Corel or wherever, bring in a line, and this will show you if this butterfly line, it's too thin to print because my line thickness here, my 0.012 thick line, is bigger than it. So it's what that means again is you just need to beef up that line a little bit. On your text, kind of same thing with your Compton, 0.012 line thickness to use as a guide. Example up here shows you that you're good. Down in the bottom, this is too thin to print because you'll see where your line, my line is there. So you would again need to beef that text up. Not hard to do, and it doesn't take away from the integrity of the design, folks. So, it's not changing it too much, or it's just we're beefing it up or need you to beef it up so we're getting you the best result with the transfer there. This is your show through areas. So again, on the butterfly over here, hovering over, the lines covering up that whole show through thickness. So that area is too thin. So chances are, that is going to close up when you do heat print it on. So always, again, bring in this line. This is a very helpful tool, and make sure that you are getting good artwork, good show through, and line thickness guidelines there. So this is enlarged to show through. See the E, it's kind of what I was talking about, your E's and A's. You just want to put your line through. We got plenty of room. You could see some of the white, behind that gray line. So that means it's not going to close up. That means our show through thickness is good there, and that we'll be able to print that, and you'll be able to press it without any text closing up there. Your best artwork for digital transfer. So if you're again getting into some special detail, shading, numerous colors, we're going to recommend what's called our CAD prints transfers. The CAD prints transfers are digital transfers that are created using a digital process. Unlike the other transfer types, we can print vector or bitmap files for digital transfers. We recommend a high-res file. Resolution should be 300 dpi. Images should be created and saved at a resolution of 300 dpi, which is dots per inch, and at the size it will be printed. Enlargements of your file could cause poor image quality. Website images are created at 72 dpi. These low-resolution images do not print well. So again, make sure you're getting us that high-res file, at least 300 dpi for the best digital result. You're again going to want to convert the text to curves for vector files. For Photoshop files, please rasterize and render all types and layers. So kind of the same guidelines there as we went through for the digital prints. I see a question over here. Mike's probably typing his answer right now. But Ron, yeah, we will notify if we see something, our designer or upload rep sees it, that it's going to close up. We're going to call you and give you a warning saying that, you got some show through areas that aren't thick, it's going to close up, or are you okay with us, enlarging it, and then our designer will make the adjustments as needed. So you will get a notification if we see that it's too small, if you were unable to do that. So yes, the answer is yes to that. Your colors for your art, digital art, should be in the CMYK process. Digital transfers are printed in the CMYK process, not spot colors like the screen printed. Not all RGB colors can be rendered in CMYK. You should convert the file before sending it. Images on websites are usually created in RGB colors. Again, if we see a file that comes over in RGB coloring, we do convert it over to the CMYK process. In that process, some of your colors might change. Now, I've never seen anything drastic as a yellow turning to a royal, but you will see, you will be shocked kind of at the result of, your yellow will either darken or lighten, in which case, you might not be getting the exact file that you sent us because it was an RGB when you sent it and we converted it to CMYK. So it's very important that if you are sending us artwork for a digital transfer to convert it over into the CMYK colors. That way we know that all the colors are correct and that's what you're going to get. If the file is RGB, you will get a notification saying that your file came in over in RGB, and some of the colors may change during the production process, and we'll get your vote of approval to put it in production before then. But again, we are giving you that warning that some of your colors might change when we convert the RGB colors over to CMYK. So your best practice is get us the file over in CMYK coloring, and there's nothing to worry about, nothing on the colors changing there. So our digital transfers can reproduce multicolor fades and other special effects within your artwork. Again, in the CMYK color process. The line thickness and show through thickness is recommended for white only areas is 0.1 inch thick. For non-printed show through areas is also 0.1 inch thick. So that's your guidelines for sending us the digital art transfers. This is the greatest, folks. If you haven't been with us for a while, we used to have art charges, but no more. We've done away with that now for, I want to say about a year and a half, at least a year. No art charges. This is the great thing. You can, some schools I've seen will do, for their field day design, they'll have a contest where they'll have a kid hand draw, what their logo is going to be for upcoming field day, that year's field day. You can send us, scan and send and upload that hand drawing, and we will vectorize it, make it print ready, and get it into a transfer for you at no additional charge. So, it's something as silly as, I haven't seen it in a while, but you'd be surprised, something as silly as drawing on a cocktail napkin or something. If you get us to it, if you scan and send it to us, we're going to clean it up and print it. With those, I would recommend an art proof, just so you could see how we have made it print ready, how we have vectorized it. And the proofs are free, or basically a deposit on the order is how I try to describe it. You'll pay $45 for the proof. That means we will go clean it up. If we need to add colors, take away colors, we're going to make it exactly how you want it, print ready. And then you will be able to view it before it goes into production to make sure all spelling's correct, all color placement's correct, that it's up to your standards, that we cleaned it up and made it print ready how you wanted it. And then once you do go ahead with that order, the $45 that you paid for the art proof will be taken off of your order. So we'll deduct $45 from the transfer order. So basically, again, just like putting a $45 deposit on the order, and then once it's ready, you go ahead with your order. We take that $45 that you paid off. So be all set there. Lamont, what is the minimum sheet order? The minimum sheet order is 5 or 10 sheets. So that's pretty much it, folks. Again, don't ever be intimidated and don't hesitate to send us over your artwork. We are here to help. There's 2 ways that you can get us the artwork. We went over both. 6 in one, half dozen in the other, folks. Either way, kind of a personal preference Just kind of find your liking, the way that you like getting this over the file. We talked about the advantages and disadvantages of both. So either way that you like, um, you know, get us the art. And if you still have questions and you need to send us art, you can always email us and say, hey, I have this file, I need to get it over to you. We'll walk you through again the steps that we need. Or you can always call a customer service rep. They're there to help you as well. They'll get you to the right way to get that file over to us to get it into a transfer for you to heat apply for your customer. If you have any more questions, excuse me, you can email us at info@transferexpress.com. Folks, read and subscribe to the blog. Blogs a couple times a week, and they're very helpful hints on anything from what we just discussed to uploading artwork to anything beginner, trade shows, whatever it might be. I'm sure there's a blog for, so always utilize that tool. We have our videos and previous webinars at transferexpress.com/webinars. You could always visit our website, visit us at our trade shows. For any of you out in the desert, we will be out in Las Vegas next week at the SGIA show. That is October 18th through the 20th. So that'll be Thursday to Saturday of next week. Myself, Mike, and Kim will be out there to answer any of your screen printed transfer needs. And then we round out the 2018 trade shows down in Charlotte, North Carolina. If any of you are down there, hope you weren't too affected by Hurricane Florence. If you were, thoughts and prayers are with you. And it looks like you're going to be getting some more rain from Michael. So stay strong down there. And we look forward to seeing you. That show will be November 2nd and 3rd, the first Friday and Saturday in November. Again, we'll be down in Charlotte, North Carolina. Always connect with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our phone number is there, 800-622-2280. Again, folks, we're always there to help. And we ask that you join us for our next webinar. It's what is my printing cost and pricing based on cost. That'll be Thursday, November 8th at 2 o'clock. I'll give you some ideas on how to price out your transfers and go over your pricing versus what you can charge and so on. So it'll be a great webinar. I do appreciate you all for joining us. If you do have questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Hope you all have a great day. And I see Kimberly. Oh, great. Hope to see you guys in Charlotte. You're in Columbia. We hope you make the trip. We will be there, Kimberly. I'll be there. Dan, as well as Adam and Ryan. So we do have a education there as well. It'll be Friday morning, I believe. So get on. That's an MBM show. MBM Charlotte. Get on to MBM and register for that. And we hope to see you in our class. If not, stop by our booth. We do appreciate you, folks. And that's it. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for joining.